How we doing today, boys and girls? This is Iron Wings 3187 coming at you with a first look at my most recent and current concealed carry, my Bersa 380 Firestorm. Now, this pistol is currently California compliant. It's the only Bersa product that is, and it is a single stack 380. Cost me $319 when I picked it up, and I managed to get 4 magazines with it, 1 factory, and 3 Pro Mag in the deal. I didn't buy it used, it's just my gun store had one of these in stock. They couldn't get rid of the display model, and they had a bunch of magazines no one was buying, so they started throwing it in for free. It is a single stack 380, as I stated, and direct blowback, made in Argentina. And when I first picked it up in the gun store, I had heard these things ship very dry from the manufacturer, and they weren't kidding. The slide just felt completely gritty and nasty. It was dry as a bone, and I had trouble just cocking it that much in store. So first thing I did when I got it home was I flipped this little switch here. You can pick up the slide. I can't show that on screen because of YouTube's guidelines. Just so you guys can see, chamber is currently empty, so... It does have it's a double single action with a safety decocker, which means you can carry 1 round in the chamber. I know that's unpopular today, but as that also disconnects you can see here, safety and safety decocker is on. It disconnects the actual trigger from the hammer, and you can't even keep the hammer cocked. So that's how I tend to carry it, is round in the chamber, safety decocker off. I can just switch the safety, and then you have a double action with 9 rounds of 380. My current carry in it is a Federal Hollow Point HST. About $30 a box. Not the best economic option, but for something to carry in your coat pocket or in a waistband that isn't really going to be all that noticeable, this is a perfect option for someone like me, where I can just reach into my coat pocket and I can't pull the trigger or anything on this thanks to YouTube's guidelines. Realistically, YouTube's made reviewing firearms a hell of a lot harder than it used to be. There has been some recent discussion on Bersa's quality and if they have improved. I can't speak word to mouth of that because I have shot this. It's fine. There's nothing spectacular about it. It is very snappy for a 380, but that's no surprise. Direct blowback 380s like the Walther PPK have always been known for being very snappy in comparison to other later designs of compact concealed carry pistols. But for what it is, it's not unmanageable. I regularly carry a Walther P22 loaded with Federal Punch, which doesn't kick all that much as a backup in the winter. And in the summer, if I'm just out walking around the land, I'll regularly carry a Ruger Blackhawk in 45 Colt that's very hot loaded. So, yeah, this is somewhere in between the two. It's not that bad for kick, but there are some people who do complain about it, and the quality Bersa has had is questionable when it comes to their history and their quality control. Personally, I don't have an issue with this one, especially for the price at only $319. But at the same time, the main issue that we have is people talking about the lower receiver, the frame here, snapping under recoil pressure after so many rounds. I haven't experienced that, obviously, because I've only fired about 100 rounds out of it. I've still got to reload more 380 because, sorry, $50 for 50 rounds of target ammo is just not an option right now. Especially when you can still get 9mm for about 50 cents a round, which is still expensive compared to what it is back in the day. But by comparison's sake, it's still relatively cheap compared to when it was at the height of the pandemic, where it was $1 a round, where you were paying $100 for a range pack. Where I think this quality control issue stems from is that in the gun community, myths tend to propagate and don't really go away. You really kind of see that with the Arisaka and Carcanos, where even though we now know why those firearms were the way they were, why they underperformed, why people had issues with them in the past, the myth still sticks around that they're still kind of crappy. So I kind of see that as being kind of the same situation we're having with Bersas, Tauruses, and other companies like Charter Arms, where back in the 80s they were very budget-minded, poorly constructed, and just meant for, a holdout gun, something that you could load rounds in, keep in the glove box, and pull out if you ever needed it. But if you regularly used it, took it to the range, it would degrade and over time become unreliable. I see that as what's happened with Taurus and all these other companies. Is they got that reputation, it's stuck around, and even though there have been multiple owners for some of these brands, different changes in productivity and quality control, they still tend to be regarded as crap quality products, when that really kind of isn't the case for a lot of these manufacturers anymore, just because in the current landscape of firearms production, you can't really get away with making crap quality products and expect to sell it still, because word gets out that quickly. The only companies that I know of that can still kind of get away with that are Turkish shotgun manufacturers, and even then that's just because they're imported by so many different companies that it's impossible to determine what company made what. So if you go online and search Citadel Boss Hog, it comes up with bad reviews. The next importer has the same model under 3 different names, and you're not going to be able to tell that's the same product unless you look really closely and inspect it. So yeah, I do think that companies like Taurus and Bersa have a really bad reputation that's unwarranted at this time, because their products have improved. At the same time, there are a few little hinks that I would get rid of when it comes to the Bersa. For example, I, like many others, got rid of this stupid trigger disconnect when it comes to the magazine. There's a little spring inside the grip. I can't show you how to modify it per YouTube's policy guidelines, but you could basically just ply it out with a pair of needle nose, and you no longer have a trigger disconnect when the magazine's out of the pistol, which makes dry fire a pain in the ass unless you keep a magazine in the firearm. So now I can show magazine unloaded and perform dry fires with it. Other than that, I do hope you guys appreciate this first look at the Bersa. Like I said, it's not bad for what you get. I do think it's underrated, and I do think that people really hate on these guns unnecessarily or excessively. There may be bad products that you could get, but I don't think that is the standard anymore compared to what it used to be. So with that out of the way, this has been IronWings3187. Thank you guys for watching, and I will hopefully get more videos out for you guys in the future. Until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Keep you guys updated on both the channel progress and my weight loss. Thank you guys for watching.